Just drive. I wanna be the only one to make it to the line. I'll take it to the edge where I live 1,000 lives. But maybe I could be the one right into the setting sun tonight. Just drive.
Ever since the Sauber of Felipe Massa passed Jenson Button into turn 1 at the very first Chinese Grand Prix in 2004, Shanghai has consistently provided close racing and extraordinary memories. It's where Lewis Hamilton effectively lost the title in his rookie year, and it's where Nico Rosberg claimed Mercedes' first win of the modern era in 2012. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill and a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and, of course, down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. Joining me once again to take you through this race is the effervescent Anthony Davidson, and I'm very much looking forward to it getting underway. You raced here, of course, didn't you, back in your Super Aguri days in that infamous Chinese Grand Prix of 2007?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't last that long, though, unfortunately. Qualifying had gone pretty well, but my brakes failed quite early in the race, around lap 10 or 11, something like that. And of course, back in 2004, I was the very first Formula 1 driver to complete a lap of this circuit. Just thought I'd mention that for you, Crofty. You like a good stat. It's a fairly tough circuit on the brakes here, though. You know, it's that long back straight down into turn 14, and then you got turn 6 and 11. They're quite heavy as well. On top of that, managing your front tyre wear is always a challenge around here, so there's a lot to keep in mind during the Grand Prix.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Nico Rosberg will start his silver arrow from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Vettel, Max Verstappen and Raikkonen, a McLaren, Kvyat, Bottas and Carlos Sainz, Alonso, Perez, Felipe Massa and Gutierrez, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Jolyon Palmer and Rio Haryanto, Wehrlein and Ericsson, Kevin Magnussen and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Brett Keenan here from TKA Broadcasting, bringing you the Chinese Grand Prix. Now, this is a bit of an interesting case scenario for this race, so I'm going to show you actually the uncut footage from the start. So you can see the 5 red lights are out. It's the way we go for the Chinese Grand Prix, but you can see, watch this. This is absolutely madness. So there we go, straight into the fence, and we are done. And you can see that one of the Ferraris has no front wing. We decided not to bother about. We didn't actually have flashbacks on, so we decided just to go straight to the start. So we attempt take 2 of the Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, because of that, you end up back there, so you can actually recalibrate your strategy. It's almost like having a red flag almost. So the lights are out again, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix for a second go. But I think ultimately in this case, yep, I even looked to see if I was in place, but nope. Ultimately, we were taken out a second time by the Ferrari, so it was, you know, third time's a charm. So that was just something I wanted to show because it was absolutely funny to me. So here we go again. The 5 red lights are about to go out. It's lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix, and we get a beautiful start compared to the likes of Raikkonen and all that. And you can see, here we go, Verstappen and Vettel alongside each other with Ricciardo there, and we're going to just funnel ourselves straight up the inside of the whole lot of them. And in an unbelievable turn of events, we've gone from P7 to P3 in the space of 2 corners. How amazing is that? So we just trundle our way through towards the first sector. Hamilton and Rosberg are battling it out. Rosberg leading from Hamilton. And this looked like the season that Rosberg looked like he was going to actually try and take the World Championship from Hamilton. And we're just trying to hold on to a P3 position. Although we're currently leading the World Championship at this point in time. But of course, going up against the likes of the Mercedes, you can honestly expect no mercy to be given by these guys. So it's quite a bit of a interesting turn of events here. So you got Ricciardo behind us trying to challenge for our podium spot. And we're just trying to hold on because we're just trying to actually consolidate as much points as we can to give McLaren Honda such a good impression, as well as that try to give Ferrari a reason to sign us on for the next season. So we turn it up to rich mix. You can see what I mean by the tyres. They're absolutely shot already on lap 1. So doing that second lap in the qualifying really hasn't helped. I mean, it's given us a better qualifying position, but it hasn't actually really warranted much in the way of our strategy. So you can see that Ricciardo had to go up the inside of us heading into the hairpin, but we cut him off a bit, get a bit loose into the last corner, but still managed to actually pull out a bit of a gap, but the gap's only 0.3 of a second. Now here's where it gets interesting. So we cut to lap 3, Ricciardo has a look up the inside of us and gets the position. Vettel gets the amazing run of a lifetime in the thing. We go up the inside to try and make a move, but we lock wheels and all 3 of us are off the circuit. So you can see that was very disappointing for us. So Vettel, Ricciardo and both of us are all down the order. We go to 17th, and at this point we decided we need to change the tyres because the tyres are shot. They're not going to go any further. And I do it Lewis Hamilton 2007. How embarrassing. So anyway, Ricciardo and Vettel are behind us. Ricciardo pits, Vettel pits, and then Bottas also pits. I don't know, he must have been caught up in the incident as well. I don't know, I actually don't have any extra footage to show it. I really wish I did, because that was quite an interesting crash there. So either way, we come out of the pits, we're on the medium tyres, which at this point we thought 10 laps on the medium would do reasonably well. I can spoil it for you and tell you it does not work. So we cut off to lap 5 now. We're chasing down Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, and you can see that Felipe Nasr just comes out. We just swoop around the outside of him, make it look easy. Of course, the tyre pace is a bit different. So you can see here, Marcus Ericsson and Rio Haryanto are in combat for P15 and P16, which means we're obviously in P17, which is still very disappointing to say the least. So here we go up the inside of both of them. Yep, both of them. Rio gets a bit loose there, and then you can see that Ericsson tried to have a go at him, and ultimately couldn't pull it up, and they took each other out. So Vettel is also in the play as well. He's on the super soft tyres, except, and you can see there that Haryanto is out of the race as a result. So obviously he either got stuck or the damage was too much for him to press on. Sorry. So as you can see, we skip now to lap 9, and the virtual safety car has come out. Now this is where it gets weird, because as you can see on the screen, Jody and Palmer is behind us, but you can see that it was for Raikkonen. So Raikkonen was out of the race as a result. This is what brought the virtual safety car out. Now something went weird here. Palmer overtook me, so I really go up the inside of him there, and then it tells me I do an illegal overtake on him, so I have to give the position back. So he takes the position from me illegally, and then when we try to legally take it back, we get the illegal overtake. So I don't know what happened there, Cody's, but that's not on, really. But, you know, it didn't matter. We're in P13. I knew we weren't going to be scoring points in this race, because tyre wear was such a big, a big part of it. So we go wide just as this virtual safety car is about to end. So we did lose a bit of time as a result. So DRS re-enables, we cut the corner just to be cheeky, and we return to racing speed. So we're on lap 10 now of 14, but by this point we knew that the tyres were falling away. And we knew that we couldn't really do much about it. It was either stay out, run the risk of them popping and then just having a DNF, or come in, do another stop, lose a lot of positions, and ultimately just finish, which would have been a good result. So we splatter on to the nearest point of lap 11. We're on the back of Jody and Palmer. It was a good battle between us, actually, the two rookies going hard out for P11. No points in it, but you know, just for the sake of it. Lewis Hamilton's leading the way. He's looking on for his first win of the season. Or is it second? No, it's first win, sorry, because Rosberg won the other one. So we go up the inside of Palmer, lock up a little bit in the process, get the job done. We're in P11. On lap 11, believe it or not. Okay, we're not, car 11. So we then jump along through down the main straight, and I think this was a point here where we decided, yeah, the tyres are starting to fall away. We've got no pace. We have to go defensive against Palmer. But then I just realised that Gutierrez came in. So we actually were, at this point, fighting for the points. And I just sat there thinking, this has got to be a joke. I'm fighting for 1 point, and I don't have the tyre pace to get me to the end of the race. You can see there, look, 71% on the right front. My tyre conservation is god-awful in this game. Oh, actually, it's been god-awful in general, and you can see there's debris on the track. I don't know if that was from Rio's car still or somewhere else, but, you know, it stayed there for a while, and we thought that was initially what brought out the virtual safety car. But here we go, there's Jeff giving us our alternative strategy, and we wouldn't have made it. We would not have made it with the way we were going. China is just a dangerous place on the tyres, so we take the opposing strategy. It says we're going to end up 17th if we drop down into the pits now, so it's disappointing to say the least, but at least we're going to finish the race. I'm really sorry for coughing and spluttering during this video, guys. I just really am fighting a cold, so it's a bit disorientating. I wish I could have done it a bit later when I wasn't feeling so crap, but I've got to get it over and done with. So you can see, here comes Palmer up the inside of us in the Renault. Verstappen's behind us in 12th, so I don't know what happened to Verstappen. I think he might have actually just had a bad qualifying, but either way, we cut Palmer off because we don't need any trouble going into pit lane. So we dive into pit lane, almost do another Lewis Hamilton. I mean, they really need to fix that pit lane up a little bit, make it easier to enter. So we dive into the pits with 2 laps to go, so that's, you know, that's just a really killer because we were fighting for points. And it's just, you know, heartbreaking for the team because they know that we've got the pace to do it. But we're going to go on the super soft tyres anyway. We're down in 17th. We've got Verline ahead. We've got Nazza behind. But we're too far away to really make an impact on any of this. So it's going to be P17, a very disappointing result for the team. And especially for myself, given that we have won a race and been on the podium. So Lewis Hamilton wins the Chinese Grand Prix. Amazing job by the Mercedes boys, but as to be expected as always. And we're going to come home in 17th. Although we did give it a really red hot go to try and challenge Verline for that 16th spot. But in the end, we just didn't have enough laps to catch him. So it is P17, guys. Very disappointing, but we'll come back in Russia.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
Well, I'm thoroughly exhausted after the excitement of that race, but I'm sure it's nothing compared to our drivers here. They've worked hard to make it up there, and it's great to see them.
Hey, wait a
make their way
second.
out onto the podium.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but is that Fernando Alonso on the podium? How did I not recognise that? Wow. I was so destroyed about finishing 17th, I didn't even notice that Fernando Alonso got on the podium. That's rather incredible, Fernando. I'm actually surprised.
And now
So there we go. So Fernando on the podium in spite of our 17th place. So McLaren Honda has had a good podium success in the last 3 races. So either way, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you at the Russian Grand Prix for qualifying and, of course, the race. Stay tuned.
I don't think anyone did a better job today.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Another team that excelled today was Williams. who make further progress up the table. Well, what a weekend that has been. Please join us next time for another thrilling instalment of this Formula One season.